From the Detroit Free Press in the heart of the Motor City, it's Tuesday, November 30th. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Bush's has over 4,000 Michigan products, including the freshest fruit and vegetables, meat, seafood, and baked goods. Stop by one of Bush's 16 locations for the personal service you expect from your neighborhood grocer.
This is Lily Altavina for the Detroit Free Press. Schools are closing in nearly every corner of the state. Rural districts, suburban districts, and city districts are all affected. Many have cited increasing staff shortages thanks to the pandemic as a reason to close. It's not just educators missing from the classroom. Bus drivers and special education aides, too, are among those missing from districts. In schools across Michigan, the reasons for closure vary, but there are overarching themes. Increasing COVID-19 rates are closing schools, staff shortages are closing schools, and staff burnout is closing schools. A slate of districts, including Detroit and Ann Arbor Public Schools, closed for the entire week of Thanksgiving instead of just a few days like in typical years. They cited, in part, the need to ease stress in educators. All of those reasons are real and complicated, but come with repercussions for students and families already left vulnerable by the pandemic. To learn more, head to freep.com.
I'm Susan Tompor, and I'm a columnist with the Detroit Free Press. It's been 3 years since Michigan voted in favor of legalizing marijuana for adult recreational use. But when it comes to banking, the legal marijuana business still has a Wild West kind of a vibe. That's because many dispensaries are still running a nearly all-cash business thanks to credit card restrictions. Many upstarts find it hard to get a loan or expand into the legal cannabis industry. And that's leaving many people of color out of the business. Not all that long ago, bankers wouldn't even think of touching the weed business. But gradually, some community banks and credit unions in Michigan have begun exploring their options. Some are accepting deposits from cannabis-related businesses. But the regulations are complicated, and banks charge significantly higher fees as a result. Just going through the application process to open a bank account can cost a marijuana-related business several $100s up front. Many banks are waiting to see what happens with the Secure and Fair Enforcement Banking Act of 2021. The Banking Act was included in the National Defense Authorization Act, and the U.S. Senate is working on its version of that act. Some say the act will offer much more clarity on how banking services can be offered responsibly for business operations that are legal on the state level, but remain illegal on the national level.
I'm Andrew Hammond for the Free Press Sports Department. As the college football season winds down, the college basketball season starts to turn up. This week is the very popular event around college hoops. It's the ACC Big Ten Challenge. The best of the ACC goes up against the best of the Big Ten for conference supremacy on the court. Michigan and Michigan State will enter the event ranked, but in places maybe we didn't expect to see them at the beginning of the year. The Michigan State Spartans are ranked 22nd in the latest Ferris Mowers Coaches Poll. The ranking is based off the Spartans' strong performance in the Battle for Atlantis tournament, reaching the final before losing to Baylor. Meanwhile, the Michigan Wolverines took perhaps the biggest tumble of the week, dropping from 11 spots, going from 13 to 24 in the latest Coaches Poll. Both schools will see the court this week as they take on the best of the ACC on Wednesday night. Michigan State hosts Louisville at 7 p.m., and Michigan travels to North Carolina to face the Tar Heels at 9:15 p.m. Both games will be on ESPN.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism and subscribe, go to freep.com/special offer.